Throughout NBA history, the NBA championship was the pinnacle of a player's career, the most valuable team award in the NBA, and basketball is a team sport. We compare all-time greats and legacies on this award. Legends have come and gone with MVPs, all-star appearances, and other prestigious awards. But for every legend, the one thing we always hold against a player was their ability to win an NBA championship. It's the piece that feels the most missing, and would be the biggest regret that haunts even players that retired. This is all because of how valuable the Larry O'Brien championship trophy is. But this NBA Finals was perhaps the most unique in that some of the game's biggest and brightest didn't seem to care. They didn't play as intense as typical NBA Finals of the past. You could argue the Nuggets and Heat played more intense and better basketball in their earlier rounds, like with the Nuggets against the Lakers and Heat against the Bucks. To top it all off, the final emotional moments after the title fell flat, there was no real raw emotions as we typically see. The emotions that make us as fans and viewers feel something too, even if it's not the team we support.
Team from Toronto, Canada. We the North are now we the champions. The Raptors, the 2019 NBA champs. Cleveland's long sports nightmare has ended. The drought is over. 52 years. Time to celebrate a title. And the emotions for LeBron James, who delivers on his promise to come home and bring a championship to his beloved hometown. At the other end, James Jones, his longtime teammate, been with him for all 6 of these consecutive finals. And an emotional Tyronn Lue.
Seeing Giannis and the Bucks win was an emotional moment, and it's always been this way. Some of it may be due to the level of difficulty or the ease in which the Nuggets won. The Nuggets had a dominant showing this playoffs, only losing 4 combined games during this whole title run. Similar to the Warriors winning in 2017 and 18, when the title run is, well, easy, the prize feels like it's worth less than it typically would. The whole NBA Finals had questionable moments that felt almost disrespectful to the legacy of the game. Jimmy Butler said during the NBA Finals that if he was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame, he wouldn't even attend. How ridiculous is that? That's the ultimate goal, to be immortalized forever, essentially basketball heaven, and Butler almost doesn't seem to care.
What does it mean to you to be elected into the Basketball Hall of Fame?
Yes, I have.
And what do you think?
Don't care.
You don't care whether you're a Hall of Famer?
No, I don't.
Do you think your resume?
Still don't care. Honestly speaking, could care less. If we're being brutally honest, if I was selected to the Hall of Fame, I'm not going.
You're not going to accept it?
No, I'm not going. Like, it's like the festivities and all of that. I just want to go put my feet in the sand somewhere. That's it.
You wouldn't accept that honor, the greatest honor in basketball? But even after it's all said and done and you've done...
No, I don't want to go. I'm not worried about the Hall of Fame, so I promise you. It's an honor, it is, but I could care less. I mean that too, by the way.
Every great player, even players far greater than Butler, were emotional at the thought of being inducted and getting enshrined there. To see the best player on a finals team basically brush off the pinnacle of basketball was meaningless, takes away from the importance of it all. I get the Basketball Hall of Fame isn't a team accolade, and Butler always has he plays for his team, but basketball has always been won by the stars that carry and propel their teams. This is why we remember stars throughout history and not every player. We respect and know what Butler's capable because of the 2020 NBA Finals, but this year, the passion wasn't there by both Jokic and Butler. Jokic seems to like the game but doesn't love the game. As Isaiah Thomas said, Jokic after winning that title just said the job's done, time to go home.
It's good. The job is done, we can go home now.
For Jokic, this is just a game, and not really his life the way we're accustomed to with NBA legends of the past. They devoted their lives to the game, none better than Kobe Bryant, whose life after basketball was tragically cut short. Kobe wanted to win every title he could. He wanted to win with Shaq and did, and then wanted to win even without Shaq and did as well.
The 2010 NBA champions. In 2000, 01, and 02. And he had a game 6 for 24. Couldn't find the basket, but had 15 rebounds and had plenty of help. And one man.
He was always passionate after every title because he truly loved the game. He even wrote a piece for the Players Tribune in 2015 titled The Love Letter to Basketball. I'll link it in the comments below if you're interested in reading it. Michael Jordan also wrote an autobiography titled For the Love of the Game. Jordan won 6 titles, Kobe won 5 titles. Even more stoic players like Dirk, Duncan, and Kawhi got emotional and hyped up. It felt like the moment mattered to them.
Antonio, Texas. More to come. The Raptors. What a game tonight and what a finals as Leonard leads Toronto to the NBA championship. But he had plenty of help tonight. Pascal Siakam, the young man from Cameroon, with 26 points and 10 rebounds.
Jokic even said he lost his finals MVP. It just doesn't get worse than that.
You're the first one to come in without the trophy. Where is it?
I really don't know. I left in Sparky's room and it's not there anymore, so I don't know. But hopefully it's gonna arrive in my house.
Butler also said he's going to an escape room after a post-game conference after they had lost their last game.
What's your process mentally to reset? Like, how did you spend yesterday?
Well, my daughter's out here, so ripping and running with her. Played a lot of spades. Spades didn't go too well for me yesterday, now that I think about it. I'm gonna do an escape room tonight. I think my guys went and saw Spider-Man today. Just doing normal stuff, because at the end of the day, I'm as normal as they come. It's not always about basketball. It will never always be about basketball.
The NBA Finals used to feel like a life or death battle between stars, like we saw during the Warriors and Cavs times, especially 2016. Players are putting everything on the line just to play in the finals. KD even got injured that way, but this year Butler brushed off a finals loss like it's just a game. Tyler Hero was also cleared to play for a while, but didn't even play in the NBA Finals. The games were also missing the spirit and taunting we see in typical NBA Finals. LeBron taunting Curry. Curry did his iconic put the ring on my ring finger celebration after a dagger 3. Jordan did his iconic shrug. We saw Jordan leap in the air, mimicking the Air Jordan pose after hitting the series winner. Kobe almost ripped his jersey and jumped on top of the commentator table. The raw emotions, Kevin Garnett's anything is possible. These are the moments that make the NBA Finals the NBA Finals, and that's what was missing this year.
So when you get to that moment, you don't have to think. Instinctively, things happen.
Jordan a drive. Fires. Yes! The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
Ironically, we saw a lot more passion and energy from Butler in the Bucks and Celtics series. He scared Drew Holiday and taunted the Bucks, even taunted Horford with a timeout taunt. But in the NBA Finals, we didn't get any of this Jimmy Butler. We know Jokic isn't one to show a lot of emotion and passion as well, or taunt, so it's kind of expected, but disappointing, as even other reserved players showed emotion, especially after winning. Seeing a player cry after a championship is some of the most memorable moments that cap off every NBA season. Jamal Murray did cry, and he did have some passion throughout the series, but overall the series noticeably lacked that. Jokic's champagne shake was also unenthusiastic. There wasn't iconic photos taken like LeBron smoking a cigar after the 2020 NBA championship or the 2016 sunglasses photo before coming back 3-1. There's a flash missing from this year's champions and their immediate championship celebration. There wasn't the rush of adrenaline, throwing the ball in the air, crying, hugging teammates we always see. Felt like the end of a regular season game. Just showing respect to the opponent and then going to the podium. The Heat didn't seem to honestly care that much about the loss or get emotional about it. Especially their starters didn't even seem to be emotional after winning. I would have imagined guys like Jeff Green and maybe Ish Smith with long journeyman careers would especially feel this moment, similar to PJ Tucker in 2021, but it just wasn't there. The crazy part is the Denver-Miami finals had potential. The iconic picture of Butler, Lowry, and Bam waiting at the back being held back after Jokic pushed down Morris was part of the history of this rivalry, but Butler brushed it off from the start of the series instead of doubling down or using it as fuel and motivation this series. One reason is Morris isn't even on the team anymore, but you would think for all the time Butler has said he stands up for his team that he would still remember that. It's hard to pinpoint exactly why the general sentiment was boring this year, but all of this played a part, even though we love to see new teams compete in the NBA Finals. like we did this year. To be honest, we can't really be mad that Jokic's true to himself. On the court, he was absolutely incredible and entertaining, dominating the game in ways we've never seen before. It's a lack of energy, enthusiasm, excitement we don't see during timeout calls, between quarters, throughout and after the game. That's boring. But who knows, the Spurs became a dynasty like that. Even if they were also seen as boring, we may just have to accept and sit through these Nuggets that hope to also be a dynasty. Hopefully next year the finals ends up a lot more passionate. Nonetheless, Jokic solidified himself as an all-time great and unique in his own ways. He acts and has done things that simply never been done before in NBA history. Check out my other video about how this year's Jokic managed to become the first and only player in NBA history to lead in total points, rebound, and assists throughout a single playoffs.